I request Dr. Maitri Goswami ji to present her paper, her thoughts. Dr. Maitri Goswami ji needs no further introduction. She is the 17th descendant of Sri Vallabhacharya, and she is actually trying to spread the message of Vallabhacharya across the world. And we were discussing about these aspects afternoon, that how it is difficult to spread these messages while being, this constructed manner. So she is really working hard to do that. For that, she has directly came from Gujarat to Bangalore. Now she will go to the Udupi, and then she will, I think she might go to another place where she will be having her presentations. I welcome Dr. Maitri Goswami ji to present her thoughts. Her topic is integrating streams of Krishna Bhakti, Tattvavada and Tadatmyavada of Sri Madhvacharya and Sri Vallabhacharya.
Being a bit offbeat now from what we have been doing since 2 days, we were discussing about Chaitanya Sampradaya and Madhu Sampradaya, while I am here to speak something about Vallabh Sampradaya and Madhu Sampradaya. So, Namah Shri Vallabhacharya Charanabja Nakhendave Kalikalmasha Ghatinyai Tadvanyai cha Namo Namah. As we heard even from Satyanarayan Das ji and many people who spoke before me, that how these two sampradayas have been associated with each other. And I personally feel that each and every Bhakti Sampradaya is associated with each other. So there is no doubt about it. No validation is needed for the same. Because as Swamiji said yesterday, that as Bhagavan in Gita ji says that this is a huge Ashwatha tree, and those who know the branches and leaves and fruits are the people who know the Tattva. So Krishna Bhakti is a huge tree, and all of us are different branches with salient features. I have divided this subject into 3 aspects: historical association, and how philosophical association can be seen, and what are the association with regards to the doctrine of bhakti between Vallabhacharya and Srimadvacharya. Historical association aligns with Sri Chaitanya Sampradaya because the Vidya Guru of Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya in Kashi was Sri Madhavendra Tirtha. And in the text Vallabh Digvijay, it says that Madhavendra Yati Tirthat Vaishnava Shastrani Samagrahit Jyotir Mukhad Dyangani Dharma Shastra Dyupangani Kavya Dinicha Agamascha. And there he is introduced as Andhro Madhva Sampradayi Madhavendra Yatihi Shandilyasya Avataraha. So he is acknowledged as the avatar of Shandilya Muni, and he was the one from whom Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya received sannyasa diksha as well. Though the concept of sannyas is not accepted in Vallabh Sampradaya, not even in the Karma Margiya format and not even in the Jnana Margiya format. Only the format of Bhakti Margiya sannyas is accepted by Mahaprabhu, in which if a person is deprived of Krishna Seva within his own house and he is feeling excessive viprayog towards Bhagavan, in that case, Virahanu Bhavarthantu Parityago Prashasyate, this is what Mahaprabhu has to say. So, exactly, that's the same thing. He is giving the clear reason that Karma Margiya Chaturthashrama Rupa Sannyas is not applicable in Kali Yuga, as we are not able to follow the same. Same way, the Jnana Margiya Sannyas, though he has not negated the concept, but rather he is saying it is Sudurlabha. A person who would be able to attain sannyas after Brahma Gyan is a Sudurlabha condition in Kali Yuga. So he is not saying that a person is not supposed to do so, but Sudurlabha is the term, and same is about Virahanu Bhavarthantu Parityago Prashasyate. Even there he is saying that a person from Bhakti Marg is primarily supposed to perform worship of Bhagavan Shri Krishna at his own house, not supposed to go anywhere else. But if a person is deprived because of any family or social condition and he is feeling excessive viprayog towards Bhagavan, in that case, virahanubhavarthantu parityago prashasyate. This is what he has to say. But exceptionally, karma margi and jnana margi are prohibited. Prohibited. Clear prohibition. Clear prohibition. Huh. Clear prohibition. Prohibited. Yeah. So, because this question goes on Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya himself, that why in that case he attained sannyas. So, in his text Antahakarana Prabodha, he is identifying his own self and clarifying this whole historical association, that he was ordered by Bhagavan himself to come back to Vaikunt as the task given to him for propagating Pushti Bhakti was accomplished. So, for fulfilling the Kriya of Desha Tyag and Deha Tyag both, aligning with the Shastra Agya, he accepted sannyas from Madhavendra Yati, about which Vallabh Digvijay reads that Tato Madhva Sampradayi Bhagavad Anugrahito Madhavendra Yatihi Samagatah Tasya Prashansadi Vidhaya Nivasitah Tanmukhat Sannyasa Dharmaha Shravitaha Purnananda iti Namaha Chakritam. This is how the Sannyasa Guru and Vidya Guru, though the way we were discussing yesterday that Krishna Mantra was attained by Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya from Bhagavan Shri Krishna himself, not from anyone else. So that mantra is identified as Brahma Sabandha Mantra or Atmanivedana Mantra within Sampradaya, and it was attained by Mahaprabhu on the midnight of Shravana Shukla Ekadashi at Gokul on the bank of Sri Yamuna from Bhagavan himself. Hence his Vidya Guru after Yagyopavita Sanskar and the Sannyas Guru from he heard the Sannyasa Mantra was Madhavendra Yati, who belonged to Madhva Sampradaya. So this is the historical association of Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya with Madhva Sampradaya. Now about the philosophical aspect. Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya never claimed himself belonging to any one particular school, but rather he identifies himself as Brahmavadi. And this is the common identification about which no Vaidik Acharya can ever negate himself. So after Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya, his younger son, when he is describing the glories of his father, at that time he is describing Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya as Sakara Brahmavadaika Sthapako Veda Paragaha. And there that Brahmavad is provided a prefix as Sakara Brahmavada. And that Sakara Brahmavada has been explained by Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya as Sakara Vyapakatvacha. And there he is saying that Nirakarta and Sakarata are the two aspects of single entity, which is Brahman. And when we describe the Nirakarata, the Vedas are glorifying him as Brahman. And when we are focusing upon his Sakarta, then Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. This is... It means that he is being Sarvakar in the form of universe. I'll get into that point. So, Sakara Vyapakatvacha, so Sakarata and Nirakarta are the two aspects. And based on this shlok, his younger son Shri Vithalnathji is interpreting Sakara Brahmavad as the philosophy of Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya. If we get into the clear explanation given by Mahaprabhu himself, then the primary stand he is taking is in Patravalamban text that because Brahman is Avang Manogochara, hence no Nirukti can ever explain the form of Brahman because there is no one else from whom we can depart his personality. And aligning with the same principle, he is saying that Sarvavada Navasaram Nana Vadanurodhitat Brahman. And there he is providing a basic ground for all the philosophical schools which are discussed based upon the principles of Upanishads. So there he is saying that alike Andhahasti Nyaya, each and every person is blind because we are not able to understand the personality of Brahman, because he is Ananda Tattva, he is Ananta Tattva, and because of that, whenever we will try to define anything, whenever we will try to speak anything about Brahman, in that case, it will be one or the other perspective of Brahman, but not the whole personality. And because of that, he provided this primary point that he is this manner, and hence he doesn't even claim that if I am saying that there is the anavasar of Vad, in that case it will be the anavasar of his own Vad as well. And when Nana Vadanurodhi Tad Brahma, in that case, if he is becoming Anurodhi towards the Sakara Brahmavad, in that case he is Anurodhi towards all the other Vadas as well, where Mahaprabhu is clearly mentioning the role of all the other three sampradayas, that Bhedah Paramarthikah iti Shastram Puraskritya Trivido Bhakti Yogaha Uktah. And there he is mentioning that just the way I have been ordered by Bhagavan to establish a path of bhakti, in the same manner all the three bhakti sampradayas have also been developed as per the orders of Bhagavan. And all these three are accepting Bheda as Paramarthika. So, Trivido Bhakti Yoga Ukta, Techa Sampratam, Vishnu Swamyanyanusarinah, from the branch of which Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya himself belongs, as in the Itishri of Tattvarthadip Nibandh, he writes Vishnu Swami Matanuvarti. So, the family of Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya belonged to Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. So, Vishnu Swamyanyanusarinah, Tattvadinah, Sri Madhvacharya, Ramanujascha iti. Evam chaturvidopi bhagavata pratipaditaha. In this manner, he is developing his statement of Sarvavada Navasaram Nanavada Nurodhi Tad Brahma. And Vishnu Swamin Yanusarinaha, the path which has been elaborated by Vishnu Swami. No, yes, Vishnu Swami is a name, but though the whole history of Vishnu Swami is blur. We don't know anything about it. The only thing which we know is that Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya's ancestors used to follow Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. They were Gopal Upasakaha. This is what the second thing we know. And the Shaligram, which was worshipped by his family, is still worshipped within the Sampradaya. And also two Vigrahas, which were attained by his ancestors through Soma Yagya of Shri Krishna, are also worshipped. So this is the only history we know. Other than that, what are the tenets of Vishnu Swami Sampradaya? We are not aware about it. And just it that Mahaprabhu is mentioning Vishnu Swami Matanuvarti in his Tattvarthadip Nibandha text. So, evam chaturvidopi bhagavata pratipaditaha, this is the stand which he is taking, because of which the principle of Bhed and Abhed, they both have been equivalently accepted within the tradition. So, Ekameva Dvitiyam Tad Brahma, this is the primary statement based on which Brahman is the Advitiya Tattva, this is the principle. And when Brahman himself is desiring to create the universe out of his own self, out of that Sarva Samarthya Bhavan Echa of Brahman, the Leelartha Dvaita has been accepted by Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya. Upadan Karan. Upadan and Nimitta both. So his principle is of Abhinna Nimitta Upadan Karana. So there he is in this manner when he is establishing Tadatmyavad, that Tadatmyavad has the aspects of Dvaita and Advaita, both the principles, where Advaita has been provided a prefix of Swabhavik Advaita of Brahman, and the Dvaita is not Mithya, and hence it has been explained as Leelartha Aichika Dvaita based on the Sutra Lokavattu Leela Kaivalyam. So the Bhed which has been created by Brahman, it is just like Patishcha Patnishcha Abhavat, it is self-splitting procedure in which Brahman out of his Sadansha is creating universe. Out of Chaitanya, he is creating the Jivatmas. Bhed with Jivatma is real, it is true, Satya. And all the Jivatmas are considered as Ansha of Brahman. And they are Anu in the Parivan. And they are the Swabhavik Das of Bhagavan. There is no doubt about it. And after that, the Anand attribute is exclusively assigned to Brahman and no one else. So the Jivantaryami, which are there along with the Jivatma within our body, that Antaryami is coming out as the Ansh of Anand attribute of Brahman. But that Antaryami is also not Purnananda, but rather Ganitananda. So, just the way Anandavalli is explaining the matra of Ananda from Manushya until Prajapati, and there it is saying that now we are not able to count the Anand. In the same manner, that relation of Anvay and Vyatirek of Brahman with everything has been accepted by Mahaprabhu. So, Brahman is Anvita through Sadansh and through Chidansh with Jad and Jivatma both, while he always remains Vyatirikta from everything as a spectator, as the one who is enjoying his creation. So, what I personally feel is that Mahaprabhu, in spite of accepting this type of Advaita, he is making a statement that Sayujyetu Rasadikyam Bhedena Anubhavat Sada. So there he is saying that in spite of accepting Abhed, I personally feel that if a person wants to enjoy Bhakti Ras, in that case, Bhed is better. So when he is making this statement, there are many more statements from Vallabhacharya associated with this type of his theology, where he is saying that Jivatma should always remain different from Bhagavan, because of which the concept of Sayujya Mukti has not been appreciated by Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharya, where a Jivatma is supposed to be in the eternal service of Bhagavan, even if he is in this world and even after he attains Vaikuntha Loka. So he needs to remain different from Bhagavan, he desires to be the same, and then he enjoys the Bhakti Ras of Bhagavan, and because of this we align with Chaitanya Sampradaya on this particular tenet that Bhakti is Pancham Purusharth. It cannot be under the bracket of Mukti Purusharth, not also in the bracket of Dharma Purusharth, because the origin of Bhakti as per Mahaprabhu Shri Vallabhacharya is accepted from the Atmarati of Bhagavan. And the Adidaivik Shakti of that Atmarati is Sri Radha. So that Atmarati is there within Bhagavan and he likes to share that Atmarati with his devotees. So as the creation of Jivatmas has been explained in Bhagavad Gita, Dau Bhuta Sargau Lokesmin Daiva Asura Evacha. So there Mahaprabhu says that Daivi Jivas are the grazed Jivatmas who have been chosen by Bhagavan for attaining devotion, and Bhagavan shares his Atmarati with those Jivatmas, and by sharing that Atmarati, we generate the sentiment of Bhakti towards him, because of which Bhakti doesn't remain sadhan, but Bhakti itself is a fruit which has been provided by Bhagavan, because of which we primarily say that this Bhakti is Pushti Bhakti, where the term Pushti. In the Sayujya, in Sayujya Mukti, a Jivatma will become one with Bhagavan. Yeah, they are in the same tree. Yes. Yes. But about the Sayujya of Advaita. Yes, yes. Even we have the concept of Sayujya in a different manner. Sahayujyate has been explained by Mahaprabhu in both the manners. One is that the Chaitanya of Jivatma becomes one with the Anshi Chaitanya of Brahman. And secondly, that Jivatma will stay within a compartment in the body of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, and he would be enjoying the Aganitananda of Krishna being there. Yes, these are the two definitions of Sayujya. Just like the Jnana Margis attain Mukti in Akshara Brahma. Yes, alike Jnanis and the devotees.
But becoming one is not understandable.
No, Mahaprabhu is not even appreciating that aspect.
Negated.
That is negated. Mahaprabhu is not even accepting and not even appreciating that type of Mukti. Yes. So, to go with the shloka where the tenets of Madhvacharya have been explained, Harihi Parataraha Satyam Jagat Tattvataha Vedaha, I am trying to align the vachan of Mahaprabhu Shri Vallabhacharya with what this conclusionary statement from Madhva Sampradaya has to say. Harihi Parataraha, there Mahaprabhu says, Parabrahma tu Krishnohi Prameyam Harirevaikaha. Satyam Jagat, there Mahaprabhu says, Prapancho Bhagavat Karyaha, Avarasya Prapanchasya Sattva Traikalikatvat Brahmatvam, Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asit, Yadida Kincha Tat Satyam, Ityachakshata iti Shrutehe. With this, he accepts the Jagat to be Satya. Tattvataha Bhedaha, there he says that Bahusyam Prajayeya iti Viksha Tasya Yabhut Sati. This Dvaita is coming out of Leelartha Ichha of Brahman. Therefore, Leelartha, Aichika Dvaita, this is how Mahaprabhu is explaining the format of Dvaita and the purpose of Dvaita. तदिच्छा मात्रतः तस्माद् ब्रह्मभूतांश चेतना सृष्ट्यादौ निर्गताः सर्वे तदिच्छया कार्यपि भेदानाम् अनन्त्यम. So अनंत कार्य भेदाः, this has been accepted. They were one. They were one. Vallabhacharya. Yes. They were one. Swabhavik Advaita has been accepted. Before the universe was created. In the this has been explained as that when the Srishti is in Karan Avastha, at that time, in the Sadansh of Brahman, the potentiality of creating universe resides. In the Chaitanya Ansh of Brahman, the potentiality of creating Ananta Jivatmas reside. And they, in that format, they remain one. But in this case, Mahaprabhu is not accepting Swagat Bhed. It exists, but not with, no, one with the Chaitanya of Brahman.
No, he may not exist as separate from Brahman, but different from Brahman at the same time.
No.
As Vishishta takes.
No, not even like that. Not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Because Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat, in this case, even Sadansh and Chidansh are not splitted out of the Ananda attribute of Brahman. Yes. So, in.
But Jivansha is always different from the Brahman. And how one thing that is identical with Brahman can become different from Brahman? That is the Leela.
The purpose is Leelartha Ichchika Dvaita. Just like a mother gives birth to a child out of her own body. So, just the way.
There also mother and child are different.
Yes, after the creation, universe and Brahman are different.
Even before delivery, in the womb itself, they are different.
But in the form of the cell, it is not different.
Can you say that?
I mean, before the child has been created, using the sperm, before that, when a mother has the potentiality to bear a child in her body, in the form of that potentiality, all the Karya Srishti is there. So, the Siddhant of Avirbhav Tirobhav has been accepted by Mahaprabhu for explaining this whole procedure.
His explanation of the material part of child production.
Hmm.
Don't you think of the soul in the body of child?
The Jivatma,
Jivatma is soul.
yes,
Jivatma is soul.
see, Jivatma is soul, but the potentiality of bearing that creation within herself, so exactly in the form of. Huh. I mean, I am not trying to interpret the whole example, but what I mean is that when Brahman has the desire of Sarva Bhavan Ichha, that now I am only one and I want to become two, I want to create something out of myself. At that time, the Chitta Shakti and Sata Shakti are not coming from anywhere else, but rather they are within the Ananda Shakti of Brahman, that potentiality, that desire. Now that after Bhagavan desires to create, at that moment, that Ananda Shakti is being splitted in the form of Sata Shakti and Chitta Shakti, and out of those, Ananta Karya Padartha are coming into existence. This is the procedure. And it again, Pragbhav is also not there, Pradvansa Bhav is also not there, but it is Avirbhav and Tirobhav. Just the way, even if we destroy a pot, even at that time, in the Karan form, the pot always remains existent. In the same way, because of that, even after the Pralaya, this universe is not supposed to be said as Asat Padartha. So, Traikalika Bhav is not possible. What I mean is.
Is applicable to only material things. Beyond material things, any sentient thing.
About the Jivatma, Mamaivansho Jivaloke Jivabhutaha Sanatanaha, this is true. But that Jivatma remains in the form of Chitta Shakti of Brahman, not as a Karya Padarth. And about the Vaikuntha Srishti, which is the Nitya Srishti of Bhagavan, it remains within the Anand of Brahman, and that Anand is nowhere going. So it is not even being created, not even being destroyed.
Correct. You follow your Vallabhacharya Siddhanta.
Yes, yes, obviously.
Correct. No problem.
Obviously.
That way, not now, but I want to see exact sentence is what Mahaprabhu wrote.
Definitely. So this is the statement from him when Tattvataha Bhedaha is being explained as Bahusyam Prajayaya iti Viksha Tasya Yabhut Sati Tad Ichha Matratah Tasmat Brahma Bhutansha Chetanaha. This is what Mahaprabhu is writing in Tattvadip Nibandha. And to defend this stand, he is saying Srishthyadau Nirgataha Sarve Tadichaya Visfullinga Ivagnestu Sadanshena Jada Api. Even they तयोः भेदाः अनन्तः जडभेदः अनन्तः तेन विशेषतो न वक्तव्या इति भावः कार्येपि भेदानाम् अनन्त्यम्. This is about Jagat, creation of Jagat. About जीवगणाः हरेः अनुचराः, there he is clear that सेवकानां यथालोके व्यवहारः प्रसिद्ध्यति तथा कार्यं समर्प्यैव. This is the order for a devotee who has offered himself in the lotus feet of Bhagavan. नीचोच्च भावं गताः, when about the Mukti Taratamya as well, Mahaprabhu is very clear that devotees and non-devotees, they attain different type of muktis. They don't, all the Jivatmas don't attain mukti in Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So, yes.
Muktas having the same kind of ananda again,
Taratamya asti.
and taratama between God's ananda and Jiva's ananda.
Obviously.
But when God himself is the Jiva,
He doesn't attain Jiva Bhava.
in the moksha,
When
Brahman himself is emanating from Sat Shakti of the Brahman. Means Jiva was Brahman before.
no, he was not Brahman before. Because
When you are accepting Bheda, then
yes, as I said that Abhed is a Swabhavik Advaita which is there within Brahman with everything that are remaining within Brahman in the form of potentiality to create.
Is there a difference between Brahman and Tasya Shakti? If
No.
that clarity is there, then I think these doubts will be clear.
Tadatmyavad is accepted for the Shaktis of Brahman, also for the creation which is created. So for example, Avidya Shakti, Maya Shakti, Pushti Shakti, whatever the type of Shaktis are, they share Abhed with Brahman. Yes, Satkaryavad is acceptable. See, the only thing is that
Anyway, this term Swabhavika Advaita is not very clear.
it is clear,
Whether it leads to non-existence of Jiva.
no, it doesn't lead to non-existence of Jivatma.
before creation.
Even before creation.
Advaita means numerically one. Numerically one.
So Brahman is one, Ekameva Dvitiya Tattva.
Yes.
Yes.
If you talk of Swabhavika Advaita, there is nothing else apart from Brahman.
Yes. When the Srishti has not been created, at that time there is nothing else apart than Brahman.
Even after that,
Even after that, when he is creating the universe,
he can't create. There can be only illusion.
no, what I am trying to say is that when he desires to create the universe, at that time he is self-splitting. Yes.
Debatable.
Obviously, it is debatable. I don't mind. But what I am saying is that Mahaprabhu is explaining this thing in this particular way that when we are saying Brahmanda Purusha, so in the Anda, the universe is there. Just like a mother carries the child in the womb, so it is self division. He is not dividing any other object. He is dividing his own self into multiple forms. In the form of Jagat, also in the form of Jivatma, in the form of Devatas and everything. And the Taratamya of Ananda always remain. Other than Bhagavan, no one is attributed as Aganit Ananda. Other than Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Not even the Devatas, not even the Jivatma, not even the beings who attain Mukti in Vaikuntha, and not even the Vaikuntha Srishti as well, which is Nitya Srishti of Bhagavan. It also doesn't carry the Anand which is equivalent to Parabrahma Shri Krishna. So that division always remains, that distinctness always remains. So mukti nichocha bhavam gataha, there Mahaprabhu is clear that devotees and non-devotees, they don't attain same type of mukti. So they have been attributed as Maryada Jivas, those who don't attain mukti through bhakti, but rather through karma marg or jnana marg. So they don't attain Parabrahma Bhagavan Shri Krishna, but rather they get mukti as per the rules mentioned in the Shastra. When it is about attaining mukti in Bhagavan, at that time only the devotees are adhikari. That too with the Pushti Shakti of Bhagavan, not based upon their sadhan bal. So through sadhan bal, even bhakti, therefore bhakti has not also been entitled as sadhana, because we are not able to attain Bhagavan until he doesn't desire to become fruit on his own self. Muktihi neja sukhanubhutihi, there he has divided this, he aligns with what Madhvacharya ji has to say, that whenever a Jivatma is provided mukti, that mukti is attained through Ishvara Prasad, not through the sadhan a person is following on his own. And there he is attributing Vidya and Avidya, both Shaktis, to Bhagavan. These both Shaktis, they don't belong to Jivatma, but rather they belong to Bhagavan only. Amala Bhakti Chatat Sadhanam. Here about the definition of Bhakti, Madhvacharya and Mahaprabhu, they both are quoting the same definition. Mahatmya Jnana Purvastu Sudradaha Sarvatodika Sneho Bhakti Taya Mukti Nachanyatha. So Bhaktya Tvananyaya Labhya is the clear stand. Akshadi Tritayam Hitat Pramanam. Here also Pratyaksh Anuman and Shabda Praman have been accepted by Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya. Just because the discussion of Prasthana Trayi was going on since yesterday, so I wanted to clarify this one thing, that Mahaprabhu is not accepting the procedure of Prasthana at all. So there was a question in the morning from a student that if a person is not reading Brahma Sutra, how would he be able to attain knowledge only by reading Bhagavat or only by reading Gita? So there Mahaprabhu is very clear about his position that the Praman Paddhati within Shabda Praman has been divided into two stages by Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhacharya. One is Jigyasa Kalin Pramana Vyavastha and the second one is Brahma Jnanottara Kalin Pramana Vyavastha. So when it is Jigyasa Kalin Pramana Vyavastha, at that time he is saying Vedaha Shri Krishna Vakyani Vyasa Sutrani Chaivahi Samadhi Bhasha Vyasasya Pramanam Tat Chatushtayam Uttaram Purva Sandeha Varakam Parikirtitam Aviruddhantu Yattvasya Pramanam Tacha Nanyatha. So all these four texts, Ved, Gita, Bhagavat, Brahma Sutra and Jaimini Sutra, they need to be aligned. And a person in his Jigyasa Kal needs to get the principles of all these five texts and get into one particular conclusion, not alone based on any one scripture. And once a person has attained Brahma Gyan, that Uttarkalin Pramana Vyavastha goes with Shabda Eva Pramanam. Each and every term will glorify Bhagavan himself, just the way Sri Madhvacharya is saying that each and every term technically explains Vishnu only. And there he is considering the Pramanya of Ramayana, Mahabharata, Pancharatra and all the other texts, whatever Shastra Samuchaya we have. And ultimately when we are, when Srimad Madhvacharya is saying that Akhil Amnaya Eko Vedyo Harihi, there even Mahaprabhu is clear that Prameyam Harirevaikaha, Bhagavan Hari is the only Prameya. And that Prameya itself has been explained in various Shastras in various forms. So there Panchatmakam Dvirupancha Sadhanair Bahurupakam Swananda Dayakam Krishnam Brahma Rupam Param Stomaha. So in the Purva Kand of Veda, Yagyarupa Hari has been explained. In the Uttarakand, Brahma Tanuhu Pare has been explained. And Avatari Harihi Krishna Sri Bhagavatam Iryate. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna is not merely an avatar, but he is an avatari Purush. He has been glorified in Bhagavat, and that's why even in other Puranas, other than Bhagavat, Suryadi Rupadrak Brahma Kande Jnananga Miryate Puraneshwapi Sarveshu Tattad Rupo Haristatha. This is how he is aligning the Praman Vyavastha and Prameya Vyavastha. So ultimately, based on these all propositions, about the theory of Bhagavat Prasad or Bhagavat Kripa, for the attainment of mukti, Mahaprabhu and Vallabhacharya, they both are aligning upon the same principle. Because of which in the Athato Brahma Jigyasa, the Bhashya, Madhvacharya is saying that only for the attainment of Bhagavad Kripa, this Jigyasa is being done for understanding the form of bhakti. And even Mahaprabhu, after all the philosophical exercise, he ultimately gets into the conclusion that Atastu Brahmavadena Krishne Buddhir Vidiyatam. Understand Bhagavan, and that is the only purpose. And what is the purpose of all the glorifications which has been done in the Shastras? Even there, Mahaprabhu is saying that all these exercise has been done ultimately for explaining the form of Bhagavan. The most important thing which I wanted to mention here is a statement of Mahaprabhu from Jalabhed, where again he is providing a common ground for all the Bhakti Margi Acharyas, where he is saying that Purna Bhagavadi Yaye Shesha Vyasagni Marutaha Jada Narada Maitadas Te Samudraha Prakirtita लोक वेद गुणैर मिश्र भावे नैके हरेर गुणान वर्णयन्ति समुद्रास्ते क्षाराद्या षट प्रकीर्तिता. There he is explaining the yes पूर्णाः भगवदी याये शेष व्यासाग्नि मारुताः जड़ नारद मैत्राद्याः ते समुद्राः प्रकीर्तिता. So there he is explaining 20 types of bheda of water and giving the examples of 20 types of water. He is explaining 20 types of vakta, where ultimately he is giving the examples of these rishis by saying that these are the samudra of amrit, amrito the tulya vakta. So there he is saying that gunatitataya shuddhan satchidananda rupinah sarvaneva gunan vishnoho varnayanti vichakshanaha te amritodaha samakhyataha tadvakpanam sudurlabham tadrishanam kvachid vakyam dutanam iva varnitam ajamila karnanavat bindupanam prakirtitam. And here in the commentary of this verse, as the avatar of Maruta, Mahaprabhu is writing Madhvacharya. So all the four acharyas who have propagated bhakti sampradayas, there he is saying that the vachan of all these acharyas are like amritapan, and a person who attains even one bindu of amrita would be attaining the bhakti of Bhagavan. So here I am trying to just clarify the point that when Mahaprabhu is providing this ground of Sarva Vada Navasaram Nana Vadanurodhi Tad Brahma and Evam Chaturvidopi Bhakti Margaha Bhagavata Pratipaditaha. So there he is accepting the Bhed as explained by all the Acharyas. Also the Abhed as explained in Aitadatmamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat, even that position. And based on that, whoever are following the path of Bhakti through the understanding of Brahman are being appreciated and are being taken upon the same ground, including Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the avatar of Narada, and including Madhvacharya as the avatar of Maruta, and Sri Ramanujacharya as the avatar of Shesha. So, sorry, Agni is himself. He is identifying himself as Agni avatar. Yeah. Narada avatar. Narada avatar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the avatar of Narad, and Madhvacharya as the avatar of Maruta, and Agni avatar as his own self, and Shesha avatar as Sri Ramanujacharya. Obviously. So, yes? Mahaprabhu has not provided any vachan for this, but he is writing in Jalabhed, his own text. And he is interpreting that all these are Nitya Mukta beings, devotees. And as the avatar of these Nitya Mukta beings, we have these acharyas who are propagating the path of bhakti as per the orders of Bhagavan. So, evam chaturvidopi bhagavata pratipaditaha, this is how he is saying, including his own self and all the other acharyas. So, I would like to conclude with these remarks. बुद्धि प्रेरक कृष्णस्य पाद पद्मं प्रसीदतु ध्याना समर्थ जीवानां अस्माकं सर्वदा स्वतः श्री कृष्णार्पणमस्तु.